This isn't a person playing a video game. It's Sima 2, our most capable AI agent for virtual worlds. Worlds that are complex, responsive, and ever-changing, just like ours. Unlike earlier models, Sima 2 goes beyond simple actions to navigate and complete difficult, multi-step tasks. It understands multimodal prompts, and if you ask, Sima 2 will explain what it can see and what it plans to do next. Sima 2 can learn, reason, and improve by playing on its own, developing new skills and abilities without any human input. And the more Sima 2 plays, the better it becomes, taking what it learns in one virtual world and applying it to the next, and the next, and the next, even if it's never seen them before. Sima 2, not just a milestone for training agents in virtual worlds, but a step towards creating AI that can help with any task, anywhere, including, one day, in the real world.
You can't tell me that that wasn't incredibly impressive. I believe Google, and to be more precise, DeepMind is back. We are loading the AGI. Incredible stuff. But let me explain to you exactly why I believe that this is DeepMind coming back and stronger than ever. I think that if there's anyone who has actually a shot at creating AGI, it's probably Google, right? When you consider their data, the resources, etc. So Sima 2 is their most capable AI agent for virtual worlds. Absolute insanity. DeepMind trained Sima 2 to achieve high-level goals in a wide array of games, allowing it to perform complex reasoning and independent plan on how to accomplish tasks. So this is DeepMind going back to its roots. They love games. Why? Because these are open-ended and specifically open world games, right? Such as this is a game called No Man's Sky. For those of you who know this game, shout out to you. No, not that many people know. This is really a geek's game. Actually, perhaps it might be that popular, but this game is very open-ended. In fact, it's such that some people say, what's the point of this game? Because you can just go from planet to planet to planet, mine resources, get shapes, etc. It's very open-ended and it is not easy. And an AI being able to play this game is actually quite impressive. And the general goal of this game is to reach the center of the universe, but you can pretty much do anything else. You don't have to do that. So this AI acts like a collaborative partner that can explain its intentions and answer questions about its behavior. So let me just quickly show you some history, right? Why this is actually quite crazy. So we started off by symbolic AIs, right back in the 1950s, 1960s, and it was all pretty much hand-coded, nothing like what we know today, right? 1970s, 90 to 1980s, knowledge-based systems, expert systems, lots of if and thens, but still very primitive, right? 1990s and 2000s, this is where things start to get interesting, right? Statistical, probabilistics AIs, think about IBM, which beat a grandmaster. And at the time, the AIs used to take up I think either whole levels or whole rooms or whatever. They were giant machines, right? And this was a great moment where essentially machine beat humans at a game that we back then thought that no machine could possibly get to this level, right? So it was quite mind-blowing. This is the first sign or first thing that got me so interested into AI. But then we went into a type of ice age somewhere between 2006 and 2012, where you started seeing, early deep learning type of stuff. Very interesting indeed. But then this is the important part. Between 2013 and 2017 came deep reinforcement learning and end-to-end systems, and this was on some next level, right? This is where you saw Google's specifically DeepMind with AlphaGo beat this gentleman right here. So history was pretty much made here, right? And this game, especially for the Chinese, is more than just a game, right? This is far greater than chess or anything like that. In this game, every move generates a whole bunch of moves you can make, and that generates a whole bunch of moves again. So this is like, the options are, if I'm not mistaken, greater than the amount of stars in the universe. So as you can imagine, there's a lot to do, and many moves are described as feelings. And this is when Google was pretty much everyone understood that Google is the one that's going to win, and specifically with DeepMind, which is again back with this insanity we see just now. And even back then, they were talking about games and, not just physical games, but computer games as well, because these are open-ended and there's no, it's not deterministic. It's like a good testing ground to create something that is general, right? General AI. This is the key ingredient, the key thing that they want to reach. And at that time, around that time, they came up with a white paper, Attention is All You Need. And as you can see, all of the Google people came up with this thing. And, they came up with the transformer, which pretty much changed the game, right? This transformer created everything we know today. It brought about all these era, right? All the way to today, where we see these from LLMs, large language models, all the way now to agents, right? And in the beginning, initially, Google had dropped the ball, right? ChatGPT came about and this pretty much changed everything. And Google tried to quickly catch up. But, it's kind of the innovator dilemma where Google was making so much money. Are you going to innovate yourself out of making all this money, right? You kind of have to be forced to move. And remember when the CEO of Microsoft said, hey, we made Google dance, and I want people to know we made Google dance. And that they did. Google is indeed dancing, and they're back, okay? I'm super hyped about this. I mean, look at what they're doing here. So here, they're actually moving towards generalization, right? We have the letters A, and then the second letter is what? G, right? Generalization. This is a key component. It should be, the AI should be able to operate anywhere. So SEMA 2 is now far better at carrying out detailed instructions, even in worlds it's never seen before. So it's carrying over information it had learned previously. It can transfer learned concepts like mining in one game and apply it to harvesting in another, connecting the dots between similar tasks. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm super excited for this. Imagine a world where in the future all of us have these types of AIs. Right now, when you think about the rich people, right, they have family offices, right? In these family offices, they manage their wealth, right? So they manage their wealth, they do their contracts, right? Let's say someone divorces, gets married, passes away, all of that is managed. And it's essentially a way to pass your wealth on from generation, right, to generation. Now, right now, you and I don't really have access to this, right? Because this family office right here, it's a whole group of people, right? Think about the lawyers, the investment advisors, blah, 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 blah. All these people work full-time for these families that have huge amounts of wealth. Somewhere, it usually starts around like the hundreds of millions of dollars or $300 million, whatever. So you need to have hundreds of millions of dollars because a lot of people need to live off this wealth. And unless you have a large amount of wealth, it's going to be eaten by the employees and just the fees associated with this. And nobody's going to, stake their livelihood if you don't have enough money, because these people work full time for your family. And so we can't have this now. And this is really a key component to having generational wealth and just building up, right? Just leveling up every generation. If you look at the richest man in France right now, he, if I'm not mistaken, got his wealth from his father, and now he's also passing, not just France, the richest man in Europe, and he's, I believe, passing his wealth on to his son, right? And this is how Europe tends to operate, is generational wealth. But with these AIs that are with you all your life, they might be able to become your family office, right? And they can help you with your path in life. I know I'm going a bit philosophical here, but this could kind of level the playing field where it's really all just on you. You can't blame anyone, because right now it's really unfair. If you're born in a wealthy family and there's a family office, a group of people working towards your improvement, then you have a competitive advantage, right? And these people also have doctors and stuff, so they tend to be healthier, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with these AIs, hopefully the playing field will be leveled up a bit. So, wealth inequality is not as extreme. All the people keep saying with AI, there's gonna be this huge divide, but I'm actually hoping for the opposite. I'm hoping that things level out, because these AIs, once they can be run on a local device, it's over. You don't need Google, right? Google is just an extra. Everyone can have their own AI machine that keeps the data private with yourself. And the cool thing is, like, if you look at how AIs work right now, right? Large language models, all this stuff that you see right now. So there's usually two stages, right? So there's training, where they train on all these tokens on the web, right? And once they finish training this model on all these tokens, it's kind of spitting out gibberish, right? And then you have to kind of tell it, okay, this is good behavior and this is bad behavior, right? So you can call it reinforcement or whatever. And once you've done that, you've told it what to do and what not to do. Now it's ready. Now the product is ready. Okay, this is the full finished product. And then you can say version 1, but it's also frozen in time. It cannot improve. This is it. This has pros and cons, right? So the pro is you can just take this thing, put it on the machine, and it will just run, right? You don't have to worry about it anymore, especially if you don't care too much about censorship, etc. Like Grok, you can just plug that thing in and let people run it, right? People can have requests, you can charge them for it. But the issue is also if someone steals this AI, right? If this thing gets stolen, it's it. The other person has the full AI, right? It's just very static and not very useful. And when you want to improve it, you have to do the same thing again. You have to train it, keep training, and then reinforcing once more. And now you have version 2. Okay, I'm simplifying things and leaving out quite a bit, but this is generally how it works, right? So this version 1 is now useless. All this training that you did and all this effort, right? All these employees you hired to reinforce, to teach it what's good, what's bad, all of that time is gone and lost. Okay, now you're working on version 1.5, right? So it's kind of a waste. It's just not an efficient way. It's obviously wrong. Everybody knows it's wrong, but this is the way we do it right now. We have no better way of doing it. So hopefully this is what Google has come up with, right? Perpetually, continuously improving AI, an AI that just keeps learning, right? It trains, it reinforces itself. It says this was good, this was bad based on the feedback in the world and in the games and wherever it gets its feedback from, right? Without human intervention. This is the key point. And then it keeps training itself. Okay, so this is the stuff, and then it trains, reinforces, learns, whatever, and indefinitely, right? This is the cool part. Indefinitely. So hopefully with this idea is that over time, right, it improves slowly, but it compounds these improvements, right? And so then we see this AI which gradually gets better and better and better. So that would be super cool if they figure this out. And here I have version 1, version 1.5, and then here's version infinity, just continuously improves, right? Self-improvement. SEMA 2 can teach itself new skills, learn through trial and error based on feedback from Gemini, getting better the more it plays without additional human input. And this is the key component. In my opinion, this is what got me excited, because if you watch the video back, I was specifically talking about this, and this was before Google released this. I said, if this comes about, then we can start talking about, okay, we're getting closer and closer to AGI. And the issue was none of these AI companies, right? Think ChatGPT, etc. They don't want to work with each other no more. The last innovation that happened that was really fundamental was the Transformer, which was a white paper produced by Google employees. But no one is really sharing any deep knowledge anymore. Why? Because there's too much on the line, right? They put so much money in GPUs. Imagine investing billions of dollars in GPUs. You can't just give your secrets away, because then your GPUs might become worthless or useless or whatever, right? Oh, there's a new way to do it. You don't need GPUs anymore. Well, there goes your $1 billion. It is now worthless, right? How are you going to explain that to the investors? Or after you spend all this time training your AI, you're not going to write a white paper saying, hey guys, I found a more efficient way to train the AI. And then someone else comes along, does the same thing as you. Meanwhile, you spent $3 billion, right? And you can't recoup it anymore because now everyone can reproduce what you've created. And some people may just give it away for free. And so all this effort you did, you can't charge no money. You just spent $3 billion. So there's all kinds of incentive that makes it so that nobody wants to share what they figured out. And this is really bad, right? But hopefully with this new innovation that we just saw, let's hope that the AGI is training and that it will improve our world. With that being said, I want to give a special shout out to the Patreons. I truly appreciate you guys. Salute, soldier.